So guys, we're at the end of this project here, and some of you subscribers, if you watch a lot of my wood turning videos, you know I don't really talk a lot through those. I find them more relaxing if you just watch the turning and maybe listen to a little music. And if you got, maybe an opinion on that, put it down in the comments. Maybe if you want me to do some commentating through turning videos, we can look at that as an option. It's just, it's just not my preference. But we'll do what you guys want to see. This particular project took a little while, and I'll be honest with you, I've turned now probably hundreds of bowls. I don't really remember how long I've been doing wood turning, but segmented turning, I've not done very many. Excuse me. And I think a lot of the reason is just I've not had the right wood for that. I don't necessarily go out and buy wood because I'm not getting super big clients or something like that in this area. You're not getting those big high dollar orders, and so what I rely on is finding wood on the side of the road or maybe something somebody gives you. Well, that just happened to be the case with this one. I had some walnut, and I've got a decent amount of walnut built up now, and recently had a customer give me a little bit of maple, and I thought those two would go together really well. And I've seen these where you would segment these and put a piece of maple here and maybe one over here, just random patterns, and I like those. But I had not seen this one, and my immediate thought was almost a V shape. I know that's not a V, but I started with one block at the bottom, two here, and then three up. And if you paid attention to the video, I actually had 4 on this one, and had a little bit of a mix-up on that 4th one. When I glued it up, it had off-centered a little bit, and so when I went to turn it, one side was getting super thin and actually came through to the outside, and while the other one was so thick. And so I just cut that one off, and I think the size turned out fine anyway. It's a nice bowl. This particular one, across the top at least, we're a little over 9 inches. We're about almost 7 at the bottom. And height-wise, we're about 3.5. So it's a decent sized bowl. But I will say this one was a learning experience more than anything. The segments here, I went to the table saw, didn't look up any kind of a wood turning calculator as far as the segments and what size they should be. I've got I think that's a 15-degree sled I've made, and I've got it set solely just for that, and it comes out, the joints are nice and tight, but I didn't know how far to space it to keep going out. The way I do mine, I'd set these at a certain thickness and kind of guess at that, and then the next one I bumped it out 3/8, next one I bumped it out 3/8, and that's moving that fence over 3/8 each time. And so next time when I do one of these, I probably won't go as far. I probably may do 1/4 of an inch, and that way maybe I won't have the issue of this being too thin if I do get it a little off-centered, or if nothing else, I can make the pieces thicker. Anyway, with all that said, that's the reason I wanted to speak on this one. I think it turned out well. I sanded this one up to 600 grit, gives it a nice sheen to it. I did have one other issue too, where while I was having the top piece on here, it got a little bit of a catch, and it kind of pulled it off the lathe, and I thought it destroyed it. And it did tear a little bit of a chunk out, but not too bad enough that it was, unsalvageable. So I put it back on there, and luckily we got this thing turned down. It was a little thin, but I personally don't like to turn them super thin. I mean, some people do. Nothing wrong with that. But either way, I think it turned out good. I hope you enjoyed the video. I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.